Hey everybody, hope you're having an awesome day. It is a Friday afternoon. I'm out stretching my legs a little bit. It's beautiful weather. The sun is shining. It's still cool outside. Got my LSU jacket on. Figured I'd do a little multitasking while I'm out here. I wanted to do two things. First, if you'll bear with me, is I wanted to do my nominations for the YouTube Hall of Fame, the Sports Card Hall of Fame. From Jake over at Legends Never Die is curating that whole process, and I'm sure it is just a ton of work on the back end. So thank you for that. I can't imagine how many hours it takes you to do it with all the videos and stuff. It's been fun seeing all the nominations, and I know that I'm sure everybody that's done one has been a little apprehensive about it, because you don't want to leave somebody out, and you can only make 10 nominations, and somebody's that you enjoy communing with, that you enjoy the hobby with, is not going to be on there. And I think even if you're super close with somebody, and if you're not on there and your name's not mentioned, don't get offended by it. Don't be like, well, you nominated so-and-so and you forgot about me. I don't think it's about forgetting somebody. I think everybody has a little bit of a different criteria for how they chose their list, and you just kind of roll with it. And at the end of the day, it's not about the recognition. It's about the community, right? And so that's what makes it fun. You know, the hobby's not going to get any more fun if you say that, oh, you're in the YouTube Hall of Fame. The fun aspect of it comes from, hey, I was talking to Doogie the other day and he showed off this, or hey, oh, so-and-so needed something for their collection and I was able to find it and send it to them and made their day. And it's the community that makes it all. So without further ado, I wrote down 10 people that when I was going through the videos, I was surprised that they weren't already in there. So that's how I did my list. I was like, this doesn't even make sense that they're not on there. So here we go. Orlando over at A Collector's Dream. How is he not already in there? I don't know. Daryl Giordano, one of my can't miss channels. I just love that guy. He's the GOAT in my opinion. If there was a Mount Rushmore, he is on it. Julie Farnham, just one of the greatest ladies out there. Zach Collections, I love his stuff. Card Wolf, also, like, he's on my Mount Rushmore for sure. Adam's Card Closet guy is not only a great community member, he's got an amazing collection. Very jealous of what he's got. Caleb's Cards, TTM Mastermind, has been doing it since birth. Guy knows what he's doing. He's super knowledgeable, just great guy. I was super surprised he wasn't already on there. Dylan over at Double D. What? I mean, he's got his own slabbing company. Come on. He is the king of centering. How is he not on there? I don't know. Maybe some of the ballots were off-centered a little bit and didn't count. Shane at Shoebox Legends. That guy's collection is amazing. How is he not already in there? And Robert at A Mess of Things. I just think as far as consistency and community, that guy is rocking it. So that is my ballot for the Hall of Fame. So I do still have a couple more blocks before I get home. So I wanted to do a second one, and this one it was hard. I had to really think about this one some more, because it is about your best memory at the ballpark, and that's hard for me because I love going to baseball games, and I have since I was a kid, and I've been to a ton of them. I used to joke with my wife that I might have to move with my job from time to time, but I refused to go anywhere that wasn't big enough to have a major league ball team. So if there wasn't a club there, I wouldn't go. Although I do really like the minor league ballparks. But so this one is for Brent Richards. I wrote down some things, trying to figure out how I was going to nail down my favorite memory at the ball club. I thought, I've been to some cool games where some cool things happened. I was at the game where Sosa hit his 600th home run in 2007. That was awesome because it was against the Cubs. It was a guy I worked with and actually still work with. Had free tickets to the game and drugged me away from the office. I was like, oh, I mean, if you're gonna try to get me out of the office, a baseball game is a good way to do it. It was electric. Everybody was so happy. Game 4 of the World Series 2010. The first time the Rangers were in the World Series. Took my lady friend, now wife, to the series. It was the excitement was amazing. It's the first time that the Rangers had been to the World Series. Expectations were very high. It was a very good team. They got destroyed that game, and then that was rough because I paid a mint for those seats, and they were terrible seats. They were just super expensive because everybody was so excited. That was really cool going to your first World Series. Also went to Game 1 of the World Series in 23, the Corey Seager game. That was awesome. That was the Rangers shouldn't have done it. All those road wins. They just caught fire at the right time, and it was a fun team to watch. I was like, oh, maybe not. Maybe I won't just talk about, significant games. What about games that are meaningful to me, not because of something I saw somebody else do? When I was a kid, I used to like to go to the ball club, and every year before the season started, they used to do like autograph sessions and stuff. And so lots of great memories of being a kid and going to the ball club and getting autographs with my mom. We would spend all day there. Single mom, it was free to the public, and we would just sit there, and you might be in line for an hour and a half to get one autograph, and it was awesome. And you're like, wow, how could it be awesome sitting in line for an hour and a half? Because we would just sit there and just talk. And she had me pinned down, and we would just talk about everything. We'd laugh, we'd people watch. Sometimes we'd get hot dogs or sodas, and she could care less about baseball. She was all about spending time with me. And that was awesome. I love it. I try to continue that on with my son. They also used to do, like, where you could go down on the field and meet the players, and they'd do like little clinics. Like, I got my first autograph from Bobby Valentine on my little mitt, and I remember Steve Buechele teaching us how to throw a ball, and so it was really cool. So that's a great memory. When I was in high school, well, I used to go to, before I get there, when I was a kid, Mom used to take me to the old Arlington Stadium. That was the Rangers' first ballpark, and it was hot. And they called them bleacher creatures because I was one of those kids that would run around and play with the other kids on the bleachers and cheap seats, and eat ice cream out of the little helmets and Cracker Jacks and popcorn and gross nachos and have a Dr. Pepper or whatever, and just be with my mom. And we would just sit there and talk, or I'd be running around, and the games were cheap. Like I said, single mom. And my only regret is I was so young that I wish I could remember more details about that. But the details that I do remember are pretty special. And then, in high school, I have a really solid group of friends I'm still friends with now. And we used to go to games all the time. We'd go to Mavs games, we'd go to Rangers games, because they were both cheap at the time. And so we would just buy the cheapest tickets we could get, and then we knew, they're not selling out. So then we just go sit down somewhere. And just tons of great memories with those guys and girls, just driving to the games and being high school kids. And there were some stories that I'm not going to repeat on here, and we may have been participating in things that that I shouldn't talk about now in case my son watches this. But it was super fun. It was a lot of fun. But lots of great memories from that. I proposed to my wife at the ballpark. It was 2012. It was opening day. I had really, really good seats because I knew I was going to do it. We were actually like 8 rows, I think, behind President Bush and Nolan Ryan, and like kind of right behind home plate, kind of on the first base side a little bit. My wife always had said it was so romantic when people would propose at games because they were professing their love in front of so many people, and I absolutely hated the idea. I was like, that is not romantic at all. I was like, why? It's supposed to be between you and me, not 30,000 people. But I did it. So that was fun. She was also really pregnant, so I figured if she said no, then she'd be afraid that I wouldn't take her home. So I don't know. I wasn't worried about it. Although I was still nervous doing it. I knew she'd say yes, but I was still nervous doing it. And one day I'll tell you the story behind it. But that was fun. I already know this video is getting too long, so I'm going to go into all of it. Maybe it was one of my opening day games, because we go to opening day every year. It was a tradition that I started with my son. He was in her belly in 2012, and so every year we'd go to opening day. I have a few traditions that I had with my family, and so I wanted to make some new ones, with my new little family, and so that was one of them. That's been fun. Thinking about all the home opening day games we've gone to, and from being in the belly to just being a super little guy who's being sleeping basically the whole time, to being a little bit bigger and going down and getting balls from the guys on the field. And there was one game where it was hot. It was April. I know it was like April 1st or whatever. But it was just so miserably hot. It's like 95. I had bought really good seats, but they were in the sun, and so it felt like 105. And he fell and scraped his knee, and we were out of there. We were out of there before the first inning, and I just thought to myself, man, that was a very expensive hour and a half at the ballpark. But it is what it is. I have not purchased tickets that good since, actually. I guess that dampered it a little bit. But I also used to go to opening day with my uncle, and sometimes my aunt would come with me, and he has since passed. So all of those memories with him at opening day are bittersweet. And so just the memories of my mom who's passed, and my uncles who's passed, and I just have so many special memories, and I don't think I could nail it down to just one. I wish I can't even say I wish I could, because that would mean that one was more significant. And how do you pick? I don't know. So I guess I'm gonna cheat and say that my favorite memory at the ballpark is hopefully my next one. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
God, you are such a nerd. Shut up. No wonder you only hang out with boys.